Well, welcome everyone, and those of you who just joined us. This is the first panel discussion of the NCA Success Summit, and I'd like to welcome our esteemed panelists: Terry Sinopoli from Arlene's Costumes in Rochester, New York, and Courtland Hickey from Chicago Costume, which, as I mentioned when we met Courtland a minute ago, is just a few blocks from me. So we consider Courtland's business to be a local business to us. So thank you very much, Arlene and Courtland. We're delighted to have you here. Attendees, I have some questions that I'm going to ask of the panelists.
Probably.
If you're not on the panel, please mute your.
Well,
I'm going to mute you if I see you talking. But if you have a question for the panelists, use the little Q&A questions thing on the bottom of your screen, or the chat, either one, and ask me questions, and then I can forward those to the panelists. Okay, so let me start with Terry. Terry, tell us a little bit about your business and what products and services you offer online.
Arlene's Costumes, as I said before, has been in business for 65 years. We're family owned and operated for 5 generations. As far as online services and online, we have everything on our website, but we only actually sell our retail items, and of that about 90%. Rental, we have a page with lots of pretty pictures and descriptions of what we have, and a little fill in the blank box down at the bottom, or a phone number where they can call us. As mentioned, we also do airbrush face painting and temporary tattoos for parties and special events. So that also gets its own page with, the boxes for people to fill out and a phone number to call, which pretty much comes to me. So basically it's all of our retail items that we sell, and all of that is available on our website. And then we also do sell on other platforms.
Okay, and Terry, can you tell us approximately what percentage of your sales happen online, or at least some way quantify how important your online business is to you?
Within the last year, 95% of our sales have been online. Yeah.
And prior to that, what do you think?
Probably about 75 to 80.
Okay. So
over the last 10 to 15 years. Yeah, it's very important. It's been important all along. We actually got a website, 20 years ago, and started selling on it about 15 years ago. Okay. And we've just developed it over time.
Great. Courtland, same question to you. Tell us a little bit about Chicago Costume and what products and services you offer online.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Chicago Costume is we've only been around for about 45 years. We haven't been around for 65, which is my mom started the business in the late 70s, and she started making costumes and opening up a retail store. I grew up in the store, and this is pretty much what I've been doing full time for the last 20 years. So we sell, obviously, the walk-in customers. We rent. We have a full rental department, mostly made of costumes that we have made over the years or acquired from other places. And then we do custom work. We do, and then we sell on-site and off-site. We'll go where the people are, basically. And we've always sold online, but obviously with the pandemic, we started selling a lot more. And I did want to mention, so we sell on our own website for what that's worth, but we also sell a lot on marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, and most importantly, which I hadn't heard anybody mention, is Etsy, which is like one of the best places, the newest places to sell on. As soon as the pandemic hit, we started making face masks, and face masks, really got us through the early part of face mask sales. Really got us through the early part of the pandemic, because they're so simple to make. We happen to have all the materials. If anybody's familiar with Unique Design or Heath Designs masks, eye masks, he in the early part of 2020 actually folded his business, and I bought all of his mask making supplies. So a lot of that stuff really did come into play as far as being able to make masks and sell them on Etsy. And I can marketplace with which to get the products out there. It's competitive, but it's not as competitive as say Amazon or eBay, because everybody's looking for handmade products. And it represents, I would say, now it represents 75-80% of our business, but up until the beginning of COVID, it only represented about 10-15% of our sales. But a website also, the biggest thing that I see for our website is that it's not just about the products that we're selling directly online. It's actually about how our customers are finding us. And, for a long time, we always had yellow page advertising, and we put our sign out, and we, try to talk to people and build up our customer base. But the reality is the customers find our retail stores through the internet, and they use our website to base their buying decisions, their in-person buying decisions on what they're seeing digitally. So while we may not have every product available on the website, it's really important. We may not sell every product through our website. It's really important to maintain a huge inventory of available products online, because you don't know, what the customers are looking at that and saying, oh, I saw that you had this on your website, so I thought, well, let me just come in. Even though I didn't call, I didn't email, I didn't, Facebook message you, I saw that you had it, so now I'm here. And so it provides a real direct conduit to in-person sales, even though it's digital.
Courtland, since you mentioned Etsy, and you are the first to mention that, can you explain briefly how difficult it is to get it going with Etsy?
It's one of the easiest things. It's one of the easiest marketplaces to set up. It doesn't really integrate with a lot of other stuff. I mean, if you're selling online and you're looking for like a way to get all your orders in one place, it doesn't exactly work like that. But the process is super simple. And if you make stuff, you should be making some stuff and put it on Etsy, because people are looking for that handmade stuff. And the biggest thing, and I'm sure a lot of people have been in this business a long time to make stuff. I've got so much stuff, like materials. You guys are talking about your buttons collection. We stopped selling so many face masks, but now we're just selling fabric by the half yard, by the quarter yard, fat quarters. People are paying $20 for a fat quarter of some old stuff I've had sitting around for 20 or 30 years. So you're looking for a good way to figure out, a place where you can grow, or you can, get rid of some stuff you're not sure if anybody ever is going to want. Etsy is the place to do it. And, Etsy, much like everything else, has an app. You can do all. It's a very user-friendly process. It's not, doesn't require, a lot of technical expertise. You don't have to write code or anything like that. You take a picture, you fill in the details, you figure out the shipping, you make up a price, and you start selling it. They make it really simple.
Oh, that's cool. Terry, do you use Etsy also?
We don't use Etsy, although that would be a great solution for us too. Actually, no, we use Amazon. We've been on there for about 7 years. eBay, Walmart, and then our own website.
Okay. All right, let me ask another question then, and that is on your website, which shopping cart software do you use, and how difficult was it to set up? Let's start this with Courtland.
We use a program called BigCommerce. It's one of the top 5. There's a Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, and probably a couple others. It was not especially difficult. My wife set it up originally for us about 10 years ago when they were first getting going. What we like about it is it integrates with a lot of the other marketplaces. So when somebody makes an order through Amazon or eBay, the order comes through our BigCommerce store, and it generally pools that inventory. So it helps us not to oversell the products. It helps us to restock the products. It maintains a certain level of customer data. It allows you to do a lot of different things. It gives you a lot of options that are preset, but it also lets you change things, which is great.
And Courtland, how is it expensive? How do you Do you
It's
pay?
like $150, $200 a month. It depends on how many orders you do and what you're looking to do with it. And then if you won't want to do any of the work, they've got plenty of people that you can hire to do your visual work.
Okay. Terry, what about you? What software do you use for your website shopping cart?
We actually go through a local company right now. So all of ours is done technically through GoDaddy, but because it's very unique looking, it doesn't look like everybody else who's on GoDaddy. So it's very bright and shiny and pretty. But we're able to do some unique things that we weren't able to do before, like people can buy it on our website now and do grab and go pickup. So kind of like curbside. So it allows us to be able to do more. We can also take PayPal, and we're working on Venmo next. So
Great. And was it difficult to set that up? And were you able to do that all yourself?
we were able to do it ourselves years ago. And then we realized we needed help because we had a lot more to put on, and we wanted to be able to make it look really professional and very nice. And a lot of things were kind of running off the page and they weren't quite doing what we wanted them to do. So we opted to go with a local company, and it's right now about $250 a month for them to upkeep and do all the things. But when we do have an issue, we're on the phone, we're on email, we're fixing it. And they also run all of our email stuff and things like that. So it kind of takes care of itself now. It's one less drama I have in my life.
Got it. So you find that $250 a month is worth the cost then for them to manage this?
Well worth it. The setup costs were separate. I mean, that obviously, they had to set it up, and it's very nicely put together. And again, the cost was well worth it.
Got it. Okay, that's great to know. And how did you find this person or consultant to do that for you?
We looked up online and we found 5 or 6 local places, and we literally interviewed them. We spent about 2 months interviewing internet companies, going through, finding out what they did and how they did it, and talking. And it took us a little while to find the right one. And
this company is actually local to you, in Rochester?
That's correct. Yep, they're right downtown from here, not far. So if anything ever were to happen, they're right here. All of their servers are right here local. We have everything that we need, and we can just make a quick phone call, or we can have a meeting, or whatever we need to do.
Do you think that if someone lives in an area without local access to this type of consultant, they could choose someone remote, or does that not work?
I think it's possible. Because you can technically do this yourself. We opted that we wanted it to be a lot more professional than we could provide ourselves. And, we like to do business with local companies. We prefer it. We try to do it as much as we possibly can.
Attendees, let me remind you, if you have questions, use the chat box on your screen. This is your chance to ask questions of these two people who know a lot about what they're talking about. We do have one question here. This is directed at Terry. Says, Terry, you mentioned Walmart. Can you explain how that works and what products you sell there?
Yes. Actually, Amazon, eBay, Walmart, they all have basically third-party sales. So there are several options when it comes to being able to do sales with these companies. You can either send them all of your stuff and they do it for you, but there are risks and there are costs. We opt to do it ourselves. We do everything in-house. Actually, the other girls behind me, they were getting orders ready. And so we're busy all morning and all early afternoon long getting things together. And basically it's, you're kind of an independent consultant in a way. It's kind of the best way to describe it. You are working for yourself, but you are using their equipment to sell off of. So people can go on to Walmart, like you mentioned, and not the part where it's in the store, the part that's the website, and they can look for all kinds of things, anything from costumes to auto supplies. To, I mean, there's numerous things. And just like you can buy clothing too.
And Terry, do you did you have to somehow establish a relationship with Walmart to do this, or was it just a sign up thing?
It's basically a sign up thing. This was actually recommended to us by our rep with the U.S. Postal Service. So it's amazing how you find out about some of these things. But we had already been selling on Amazon for a while when we went with Walmart, and it took us a while to figure Walmart out. There is a learning curve. Sorry, I have to just have. Can you take this?
Courtland, do you also sell on Walmart?
Yeah, I sell on Walmart. I mean, I only have like 4 or 5 items. I would definitely second that. It's not as definitely Walmart is like much harder than the other two to try to get to figure out and integrate. They have just a different system, but they all of the sales channels, all of the marketplaces have, you know, very similar everything, you know. And I think people don't really realize that more than half of all the products that are being sold on Amazon are being sold by small businesses like ours. You know, that you go on Amazon and you can see Amazon themselves sells products and they say sold by Amazon, but then the rest of it says sold by Chicago Costumes, sold by Arlene's Costumes. So while it's not the best thing for everybody, you know, necessarily because Amazon's there, but you know, that's really where the customers are. You know, they used to be in our store, but now they're online, and they're not just online, they're on Amazon buying stuff on Amazon. And you know, sometimes they pay full price or more than full price. It's not all just a discount. You know, pricing is a big part of it. I saw somebody asked a question about using automatic pricing software just a minute ago, and I have tried that, and I would say that it's not. You can wait to get full price on a lot of your items. I think a lot of people are intimidated by Marketplace because they see, oh, these guys have free shipping. Oh, they're selling it for this below cost. But you know, we're in a big industry with a lot of different products from a lot of different places, and you just got to find out what you've got that nobody else has, or it's a timing issue. You know, the prices for products skyrocket in the final 10 days of October or around Christmas time, where you can make a lot of money selling the same products that you're selling every day.
Courtland, can you give us an example of a product that you sell online? I mean, like through Amazon or Walmart, that you think is selling well because it's unique or something special that you do?
Well, nothing unique or special about Amazon or Walmart. Etsy is the place for the stuff that we make that is, you know, one of a kind, whether it's face masks or materials or, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg collars or something like that. That's the unfortunate thing about Amazon is there's really not a lot of unique or interesting stuff. It is a straight supply demand. You have the product. What's the price you're charging for it? Do other people have that product? And what are people looking for? You know, it's the same thing like it is in the store, I guess I would say. When Chadwick Boseman, the star of Black Panther, passed away, all of a sudden, in-store and online people were looking for Black Panther products. And, you know, we had fortunately bought, you know, like 300 of the necklaces and 300 of the, you know, the wristbands, and Amazon was out of them. We were sitting on product that Amazon didn't have, and this guy passed away, and everybody wanted it. Well, we took a $3 item, and we were charging $15 for that $3 item, and people were paying it. And you know, until a week later, Amazon got their shipment from Ruby's, and they were selling it for $3. You know, they were selling it for below. So it requires a certain level of work, but you know, that's been my big, I would say, my COVID epiphany is that you know, when things were going downhill, things have been really tough, you know, as far as Halloween every day, trying to keep, you know, expenses are going up, customers are coming in, they're complaining about price, they're not coming in as much, they're complaining about price, and the reality is they're gone online. And we just gotta, I've resolved that I have to just follow the customers. Where are the customers at? And they're online, and that's how they're buying it. And you may have to settle with not making as much money selling online because of all the additional costs, but you make up for that. You can make up for that by volume and a more sustainable level of year-round sales.
Got it. That's interesting. Terry, Courtland mentioned the Chadwick Boseman item, which seems to involve a very good timing on his part. Do you have some strategies or tips or something on how to improve sales on those types of sites that have a lot of competition?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I just follow what's going on in pop culture. I take a look at what movies are coming out for the next year, just like we do when we're buying for the year. But if, in the case of COVID, where movies got changed drastically, they're opening in April. No, wait, it's opening in August. No, wait, it's opening in, and we just kind of took a look at all of that. We also get a little more creative on eBay with some of our descriptions, by the way. That's one of the only ones where you can kind of do your own thing. So that does help a little bit to make you stand out and be a little bit more unique. But in terms of, the pop culture references and things like that, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, when stars pass away unexpectedly, especially, it makes a big difference in your business. So you just have to follow those things and know that those are the ones that you need to focus on.
What couldn't you do if you go down to the break room?
Someone is talking. I'm going to see if I can mute them here. Okay, I think we're okay. All right, thank you, Terry. We did have another question, Terry, that came up when you were talking about the consultant that helps you with the sales software. This person asked, do they take care of the optimization of your site also, or do you do this yourself?
Now we do it ourselves, but initially, yes, they took care of all of our SEO.
Okay. And was that worthwhile to have them do that? Or now that you're doing it yourself, is it more efficient?
At first it was worthwhile, but we really can do almost the same thing ourselves because we do so much of our social media.
Mhm.
I post multiple times a day from different sites, referring to not just our products, but also, again, cultural references, movies, recipes, holidays. It just depends, and it refers people back to our site. And in the process, those posts that do have our website on them end up getting more traffic.
Mhm. Okay. You've raised a very big topic, Terry, and that is social media. Can you give us a paragraph or two about how your social media is integrating with your sales online?
Yeah. Obviously, I post about our individual items. This time of year, of course, we're looking at a lot of Easter bunnies, but I don't want every single post to be Easter bunny, Easter bunny, Easter bunny. So I mix it up. I just posted a recipe from one of my favorite pages that's an Easter recipe. But then I'll go back a little bit later today and post another Easter bunny. But the more that you can draw people to your page from unique sites and not be just having people log directly in to your website, you're going to get more action, and you're going to actually move up on Google. You're going to move up on all those searches too. So it helps. It integrates everything. It ties it directly in, but you've got to mention your website every single, every couple posts. You really have to keep it going. You have to show people what your website is. So.
And you're using Facebook, and what other social media do you use?
I post on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram primarily. Occasionally I'm on Snapchat. So it just depends, and I'm working on a couple more to see if I like them and if they're practical for us.
Okay.
So.
Courtland, do you also use social media to drive traffic to your sales sites?
Yeah, we use social media. I couldn't tell you if it ever results in a sale. I mean, they're tracking, but very few people will come in and say, "Oh, I saw you on Facebook," or "I saw your thing." It's a big I think that's the biggest problem, unfortunately, with social media, is that it, it doesn't exactly translate all the time. But we love it. We enjoy it. It's something fun for my employees to do. We've been doing a lot of TikTok lately, a couple fun videos on TikTok. It's good to get information out about the store. Again, also like stuff like Facebook is really important because, all of that stuff, it's all part of your entire web presence. So, you got to update your hours on your website. You got to update your hours on your Google page. You got to update your hours on Facebook. Because if those things are all different, but nobody can open till 6 now. So that's
Here it is.
Attendees, if you're not muted, please
No me da más.
mute yourself. Okay.
No.
Ed, can't you mute her?
I'm trying to mute everyone here. So attendees, if you're not muted, please mute yourself. I'm flipping through it to see who is not muted. I think we got it. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Okay. Courtland, you mentioned TikTok, and that's a big hot topic. What are these videos that your staff is posting? What are they doing? Doing something funny in the store, or saying something, or what are they?
I give them a little bit of creative freedom as long as they actually use my products and they don't waste too much time on it, and they finish all their other work first. those are my parameters. They did some makeup stuff, some 1920s things. They take video of our cat. It's some other thing to get. I guess I would say social media is important in how the internet ranks you in your search, right? So if you are active on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and you are linking to your own website, that is all part of Google's algorithm as to whether or not how high you show up in a search in your local area when customers are searching for costumes, right? So if you look and you see, HalloweenCostumes.com, Spirit Costumes, they've paid a lot of money to be paid searches, but all that money doesn't amount to anything if you have a really good organic search. And a big part of your organic search is how much you're doing, how often you update your website, the amount of products you have on your website, the terminology you used on that website, and how much you participate in, things like social media that are updated often, right? So that shows that you're active. And so when you go onto Google, somebody who'd never been to your store before goes onto Google and says Halloween costumes or costumes near me, Google's taking all of that information and using it to determine what the best result for that customer is. And that information that you input into the internet about your store, your social media, all of that stuff will relate to that customer who's making a search online and that you come up first, or you come up as highly rated, and then you said, well, that's the place I want to go to. And that it's this weird cyclical thing, but that's how it all basically works as far as how you're able to draw your local traffic.
All right, interesting. Terry, you mentioned that you use Twitter. What do you tweet?
I tweet very similar things to what I have on the other pages, but you're limited to 168 characters. So you keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Try to use as many pictures as possible. Pictures speak 1,000 words, and just really try to get the word out there. Plus, Twitter tends to be one that we end up responding to a lot of our other local companies with. We do sponsorships with our local baseball team. So we end up tweeting back and forth with them, and other companies as well. So it gets us out there in other ways, not just by posting and tweeting things ourselves.
Terry, I know that you have relationships with those baseball teams for the face painting, right?
Yeah, and for costumes as well. Yes.
Can you explain or give us a very concrete example of a tweet that you have somehow connects your store with the baseball team?
Yes, our baseball team is actually the AAA team that just got taken by the Washington Nationals. It's the Rochester Red Wings, AAA ball. So, and we've been around for years and years and years. And they post things all the time. They tweet constantly. And it's usually something to, of course, engage the community. So at one point they were creating Red Wings jerseys that for people, digital ones, with people's names on them and their years and things like that. So we said, can you make us an Arlene's 56? And of course they did. Arlene's costumes 56. And we just talked back and forth. Also, when we do have an event coming up with them, then they engage that as well. They're like, oh, Arlene's is going to be with us this week. They're going to be doing airbrush face painting and temporary tattoos at our game on Saturday. You got to come out, check them out. And we respond and we kind of tweet back and forth and everybody gets into it. And by the end of it, there's, hundreds of tweets. So.
Got it. So I guess the lesson there is that you want to very consciously interact with these businesses, right? To find things that you can tweet with them about. Is that
absolutely
accurate? Yeah.
Yeah, I plan some of my things, some of my tweets, some of my posts, but I also am practical about it in that I know that not everything can be planned and something's going to pop up and it's going to be fun and entertaining. And, sometimes I'll just go live from a site if I happen to be somewhere and just, say hi.
Right. Wow. How many Twitter followers do you have?
4,500.
Oh, that's great.
I think.
So we have a couple other questions that I want to put to you. Attendees, let me remind you again, use the chat box, please, to send questions, and we welcome them. Now is your chance. So Courtland, did you see the question about be cool or something like that? It's not really a question, it's more, I'll read it to you. It says, Courtland, we tried BQOOL, be cool, last year, and it did help maximize our profitability. And I'm just wondering if, are you familiar with that, Courtland? Have you tried it?
No, I haven't heard about that, but there's a ton of programs out there that I haven't really worked on yet. I find I like the excitement of manually adjusting my pricing and learning how the products work. I guess a lot of time I'm very reticent to turn over the process to a computer in that regard. Like, really being careful and trying to understand, what's going on and what prices things are going for. I did want to mention too, I've had some success selling a bunch of old broken stuff on eBay as well. Customer returns or things that just are really old. eBay is a great place for that too. And they have you use the app to make your listings, and it's really very easy. It doesn't require you to sit down.
Wow, that's great. So we've talked so far about eBay, Etsy, Amazon, Walmart, of course, your own website. Did I miss any?
We actually just started doing Facebook and Instagram sales, although we're having a little trouble on the back end, so we should be up and fully running soon, but we're actually posting as much as we can right now and getting that done while we're waiting for some back end issues. But
so Facebook and Instagram, did they not have sales before? I'm not that familiar with them.
They've had them for a while. If you go on Facebook and Instagram, a lot of times you'll see it used to be mostly bigger companies, but now they're really opening it up and a lot more people can get on, and the rates are not out of this world. So it's a little more reasonable to actually sell on there.
Got it. Okay. All right, Courtland, here's a question that I wanted to ask too. And that is, how do you manually do your pricing when you have, this person said in 1,000 SKUs. So you have a lot of SKUs too, I assume. How do you possibly keep it going?
What do you mean? Like, how do you do your pricing? Like, I put everything on there at the price I have it on in the store, and you set, Amazon allows you to set a minimum price and a maximum price. On our own website, shipping is based on the customer's address and the size of the package. But on Amazon, they really try to push you towards free shipping, which we don't do. But we've come up with sort of like a base amount that covers the general shipping cost, give or take a little bit, so it all kind of evens out. For items like Easter bunnies or things like that, we have a different shipping template that we use that covers the higher cost of shipping for that particular item. Basically it's just keeping watch and seeing what's available, what's not available, what things are selling on Amazon and for how much. It's all, everything's changing every day. Things are changing as far as like the products that people are interested in and buying and what's selling. So again, I actually have more product available. I let it sell out and see what other people are selling it for, and then I re-up those inventory numbers based on a higher pricing level. So
Okay, got it.
I
So
don't know if I can add a comment here.
Yes, who is speaking?
Fatin?
Yeah, hi Fatin, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the one who did the comment of the be cool because we're doing a lot of it manually, but what I found in October, sometime it's moving so quickly on us that we lost some margin because we didn't realize some item are moving up so quickly. Like we had also a surprise that sometime on Amazon, we were able to sell item much more expensive than we did it on our website, which didn't make any sense, but it is a reality, but then when things go bad, it really go bad and it goes so low, but I had tried Be Cool. I'm the one who did, and I had found it very useful in the last few weeks of October, because some items was too busy to keep track of everything. And so certain things were shooting up, and it had helped me. It had right away adjusted it up, and I would get some order and going, holy, did they really pay that? But they did, and it did sell. So yeah, but I want to try the different template on shipping. I've been looking at that. I haven't done it. That is, I'm going to take away from this to try it.
yeah, so like there's a lot of different shipping out there. There's a lot of different rules. Like you can buy shipping through Amazon, which is not terribly expensive, and the benefit to that is people can't claim that Amazon will handle this customer service for people who say, where's my package, if you buy this shipping through Amazon. But they don't always offer you the best price. If you've got your own negotiated rates with UPS or something like that, is usually 10 times better than anything Amazon offers you. And there's a lot of different rules. Again, the way that I handle it is basically limiting the amount of product, right? So if I got 100 of something and I put it on there, I don't put 100 available at any time. I put maybe 10 or 12, and then as soon as they sell out, I'm like, oh man, I got 50 of those in the back. What's the price going for? And so that's the way that I'm able to then raise the price. And that's another thing too, is that if they use this really interesting algorithm that they're constantly adjusting to try to figure out who's winning the buy box. And you might hear that term a lot, but winning the buy box is meaning, you're the one who gets at the top of the list of the product for sale on Amazon. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're the cheapest product. And they have they use all of these different metrics, and metrics are just this like ridiculous thing that you have to abide by for all of these services. Means you gotta process the order in time, you gotta ship it out, and you gotta maintain all of this stuff. You can't take orders for stuff you don't have and cancel those orders, because then it screws with your metrics. And your metrics also determine your placement on the buy box, how often you get the buy box, how well are you fulfilling that order. I mean, there's all of this stuff that goes into it, that
And also your feedback percentage.
your feedback, which is all, but you can't You can't ask people for positive feedback. That's against the rules, even if, you know, you're even suggested. So there's a lot of, they have a ton of rules. They're changing them all the time. They're, you know, they don't even follow their own rules constantly. I mean, it's just like everything else, like it's everything else in the world. But, you know, maintaining your metrics is really important because, and I didn't really realize this, you know, with Amazon, if you screw up a bunch of stuff during Halloween, then you can't sell for Christmas. And, you know, I didn't really think about selling for Christmas, but man, people buy a lot of shit for Christmas. They're buying all of costume stuff for Christmas. So that is a mistake I will not make this year with my metrics. You know, not allowing people to not putting products out that they don't have, or and Amazon. You know, another thing I'm not sure if this has ever happened to anybody else is that Amazon actually oversells. Right, you put 24 pieces on there, they'll sell 26. You know, they do it all the time, and so that's another reason why I never fully commit all of my inventory to online sales, because, you know, their computer will sell products that they don't have, and they'll never admit to it, and they'll, you know, it's just one of those things. But they often have done that, and that screws up your metrics, and then, you know, there's no repercussions. You have no way, you're stuck in that system. It's a closed loop. So
we have been successful calling them though, and I don't know if you've done that much. When you have a bad review, or they, you know, screw something up, and we sort of have been successful calling. Don't email, just call.
Oh,
with customer
they
service.
won't do that anymore.
no.
Oh, there is. There's still a number. If you
In
do the
fact,
email.
You can be blocked completely if you call too many times.
Yeah, and they don't like that. There's all the, you don't know. They're keeping metrics on other kinds of stuff that you never even knew about. You know, if you don't answer if somebody sends you a message and you don't answer that message within 24 hours,
Of course,
that's a negative.
Of course. I mean, you have it on the top, your percentage in the Amazon. You see how you stand. They compute the whole thing for you and tell you on the Amazon platform how people, you know, what is the percentage you have, and you have to be above the 95% or whatever. So some of it is available for us to see what's affecting
Great
us.
advice. That is some excellent tips. We've got a handful of other questions that I want to get to. We've got just about 18 minutes left, so let me move on. This question is to both of you. It said, I had some older Department 56 pieces that I could not sell. I put them on Poshmark per a friend's advice. They have sold for more than the price listed. Do either of you use Poshmark?
No, I don't use Poshmark, but we actually were able to sell some older product from, from Ruby's, from Forum, things like that we had for several years, only because we had the invoices for it. If you don't have the invoices for it, don't try to put it on Amazon ever. But you can sell older product as long as you're careful in the way that you do it.
Oh. What do you know what Poshmark is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is it? Some specific site for fashion or something, or what is it?
You want to take this?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's kind of like a consignment shop in a way, is what I've seen from it before. And correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, basically, you can sell people expect it to be used. People expect it to be, you can put that it's new, but I mean, most of it will be probably used product, and it's usually fashion, but I suppose it could be costume. It could be anything. Purses, I've seen, shoes.
Okay. Interesting.
Wigs. My boys are talking about putting wigs on Poshmark.
Putting what's?
Wigs.
Oh, wigs. Ah, okay. Interesting. So I think the takeaway there is that there are lots of different sites selling lots of different stuff. So if you have certain items, you should pay attention to that and try to find the right spot to sell it. Let me go on to another question here. This one raises kind of a bigger issue. Many of our vendors are also selling online and directly competing with us. How do you navigate that situation? And are there vendors that you feel are more supportive of your efforts? Courtland. go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's okay. Yeah, we have quite a few vendors that we compete with on a regular basis. And some are very supportive of it. Some have become less supportive via smaller discounts. Some have become, and some are less supportive in that they will not let you sell on certain platforms at all. You're not going to sell on Amazon because they sell on Amazon. You can sell on other ones, but you can't sell on that one. So it's, and that's usually what we see is that if you're not one of the selected few that they've chosen to sell on that particular platform, then you have to stop sales immediately. for those particular
And
platforms.
how do you think one becomes one of the chosen few?
Sales, how much you're buying from them
Mhm.
on an annual basis.
Courtland, what has been your experience regarding that, vendors selling stuff online that you compete with?
Yeah, it's been a problem, with certain things. Like a lot of stuff though, with selling online, you just got to get over it. Move on, figure out if that's not the thing, you move on to the next thing, right? And it sucks, right? The people are not giving good discounts, they're not shipping very well, you're not getting good terms, all this stuff. But like, this industry has really done it to itself. Obviously for people who've been around a long time, they've seen a lot of different things. And, as far as the wholesalers are concerned, it's always been every man for themselves. I don't think they're in it. They're not in it for us. I feel like we've seen this coming for so long. Like, it's not a big surprise. That's just how, you talk about all these people retiring, they're not in this business anymore. It's getting more vertical. And of course these companies are seeing that. Why would they be selling wholesale to somebody else? Maybe that person buys $10,000, $20,000 worth of stuff when they could be making that margin selling their own products. If they are selling to you, if it costs them $1 and they're selling it to you for $5, why wouldn't they sell it directly for 10? It just makes a lot of sense. I think anybody else would probably do it if they were in the same position. And the thing is, and this is the most important thing, is there's so many products out there that it's a supply demand situation. The bigger names might be selling all these products online, but their supply is not endless. They're just, they run out, and eventually those products become more valuable. And it's just like everything else. You got to wait until the right time.
Great. Thank you. Let me go to our next question here. This one, I think you covered, Courtland, but maybe you can add a little more to it. How do you deal with customers wanting free shipping on online orders, since small businesses normally cannot afford free shipping? Can you explain again, Courtland, how you address that?
Well, we don't offer free shipping unless you purchase over a certain amount, and it's all a matter of calculating the costs. And I hope anybody who's considering shipping things out, considers using a third-party shipping program. There's dozens of them out there: Pirate Ship, Shipping Easy, all kinds of programs that will offer you what's called tier 2 pricing on USPS products, or negotiating your rates with your own UPS or USPS. Because if you're looking at the cost of shipping things, what the post office charges, the retail rate, then you're never going to make any money selling any products online or shipping any products. It's all about volume and numbers and things like that. So if you can get people to spend over $50 or $60, you can eat the $5 to $10 it might cost you to ship them those products, or just say no. Say, well, that's life. Or don't. If they might say, we want free shipping, and you can say no. I charge for shipping. I think it's important that people understand that free shipping isn't free, and they may get it from some people, but you got to just do what's right for you.
Yeah.
Terry, what's your experience with shipping issues?
We feel very much the same. Free shipping is not free. I mean, it still costs. So what we've done is kind of bracketed it. We've gone with anything that's less than a pound. We do for call it small shipping, but it's basically first class shipping, because anything less than a pound with US Postal Service, you can ship cheaper, $3, $4, $5, depending on where it's going. You know, if we're shipping to California, it's going to be more for us to ship than it is if we're shipping to somewhere here in New York. And then if it is over a pound, then, you know, we're taking a look at it. Amazon and eBay, things like that, obviously, they're going to have set amounts depending on, and we mentioned it before, what template you're using for your shipping. We have those templates set up, but even within that, you still don't have 100% control over your shipping costs, over the charge that you're passing on to your customer. On our website, we have set rates for different. We have a little more control over it. And we honestly don't get asked that often anymore if we'll do free shipping. I think people are used to having to pay shipping now. But if they do ask them, we let them know. If you're buying multiples, we'll give you a better rate. If you're buying, you know, we try to work with them, but we just can't do free shipping. It's just not practical.
Great, that's good advice. Here is another question. What about returns? What if an item is worn, meaning worn by the customer, and then returned? Terry, do you want to address that?
Again, it depends on the marketplace. Amazon requires you to take returns. All of them pretty much require you to take returns. If it is used, you can try to fight it. Take pictures, take video as you're opening it, pass it on. The chances of you actually getting to keep the money from that, usually it just means that you're going to get your shipping. You keep your shipping on Amazon and on some of the others. Most likely they're going to fight you and they're going to win. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it works on other marketplaces. As far as from our own website, we don't get returns that often. And when we do, it's typically like a size issue. They bought the wrong size. Can I exchange this? So it just depends on what marketplace you're using. You just have to know what your limits are, know what, you know, you have to be realistic about it.
Courtland, I see you shaking your head. Has that been your experience too?
Well, you know, again, I guess I would say it's less like a, you know, you know, running my store in my life, you know, I've had to deal with a lot of people trying to scam me and doing, you know, goofy stuff. And, you know, it takes a lot of emotion to deal with jerky people. But for online sales, you have to take returns and you just got to get over it. You know, it's a part of it, and it's all a numbers game, and you just got to, you know, not feel like you don't take it personally, right? You know, that's just what some people do, and that's life. It's just about, you know, it's a thing. And, you know, honestly, it's like not that big of a deal. Like it's like less than 1% of all the orders that ever go out ever come back, you know, and you downcycle them, right? So somebody took that costume, they wore it, they returned it, they got their money back. Well, or they broke it or got broken shipping and they sent it back. Well, you just move it to eBay, you put it on discount, you get rid of it. You know, you write it off. That's life. You know, it's just all part of doing it. It is, you know, kind of fruitless to try to fight it. It's you know, every situation is a little different, but you know, I don't lay awake at night worrying about customers using my costumes and returning them. You know, it's just it's a part of the world we live in, and you know, I accept that.
Okay, well, that's good advice. You got to live with that then. That's an answer.
I don't like it. Nobody likes it.
Okay. Here is a comment that I'd like to read and share a little reply on. The comment is, everyone is looking for unique items, and now it is everyone for themselves. What about NCA members working together and going to a vendor and buying enough of an item to ask for an exclusive? That's an interesting concept that we have on the board. The board members who are here know we have talked about it a little bit and have explored somewhat, and we haven't quite yet pulled the trigger on it. But that is something that we've thought about. And if we could find the right relationship with the right vendors and the right items and the right prices, we would do it. So that's the reply to that. And stay tuned for that, more information on that topic. Here's another question. Do you think these other avenues for selling, and I think the questioner was meaning Amazon, etc., are more profitable than selling on your own website? Or does it just give you more exposure and draw people to your sites? Terry, you want to comment on that?
I said both, because yes, you will get more quantity on those other sites, but at the same time, there are still people out there who want to talk to a human or have questions, and sometimes messaging through the system, messaging through Amazon, messaging through, there's some translation lost there, so people will call and they will ask us questions, or they will look us up online and shop with us because they want to shop with a small business. But typically people are just out looking for something quick, something easy, and they just want to get it done. And Amazon is kind of the go-to now.
Okay. Courtland?
So I would say, those are two completely different things, right? So when people go to purchase something from me on a marketplace, they know my name, but Amazon and eBay take incredible pains to insulate the customer's direct contact information from me. Meaning, they don't put they put a phone number on there, but it's an Amazon number that they're monitoring. They don't put the customer's email address on there, so I can't add them or remarket to those people. And in fact, Amazon removes the customer data after 10 days of completion of the transaction. So you can't go back and look up, the addresses or even the names of those customers 10 days after it's been completed to add them to your mailing list or something like that. So obviously it's way more profitable to sell the items directly on your own website, but people don't buy like that. People don't want to enter their credit card information into a website that they've never been to before, even if they know your store. They much prefer the ease of use. And these companies have put millions and millions of dollars into developing their platforms, advertising their platforms, and putting themselves right up there in front of everything else through, current advertising, that they're the ones who captured all the customers, and that's what I was saying earlier. I've been doing this a long time, and I always wondered, there used to be all these people. They used to come into my store. Where the heck did they all go? They didn't move somewhere, right? They still live here. Turns out that they don't buy in the way that they used to buy. Now they buy there because they can go on Amazon and they can buy a bike helmet for their kid, and they can buy groceries, and they can buy sunscreen, and they can buy whatever products that they're looking for all in one place, all at one time. All their information is saved. They can buy it at their house. They can ship it to their cousin. They can do whatever they want. All the information's on there, and it's easy. 1 click, 2, 3 clicks. Everything else is too difficult. And people are lazy, and they don't want to do anything that's difficult.
Thank you. Well, folks, listen, we are out of time. We've got another panel session starting. So let me thank Terry and Courtland very much for your time today and your sage advice. What you guys said clearly revealed that you know what you're talking about, and I know the attendees appreciated that. So both of you, thank you very much. We appreciate